finally here. It's February 9th. It's the day of my surgery, and it's all so crazy to me that it's here and I'm about to go get my jaw cut open. But I'm ready for it. I've been ready for it. I just am packing a bag because I'm staying overnight, and then I braided my hair just because I felt like that was the best thing to keep my hair out of my face but still comfy to where I could lay on it. And yeah, I put this like weird nausea patch on my ear last night because my surgeon said that it would help me to not throw up and be nauseous after my surgery. But this morning I woke up feeling kind of like weird, like a little bit drunk. Like I know my pupils are like fucking crazy, like I'm on drugs, I feel like, but I am on this drug, I guess. But yeah, anyways, I will show you guys my bite and then I'll see you guys post-op. Alrighty. This is 2-week post-op Ireland, and I'm going to be walking through those first couple days where like I couldn't really talk and I couldn't really film because I was just so out of it, and I'll be showing pictures. So going into the surgery center, I was like just ready. I was like, okay, I'm ready, like just get this shit over with. They had me sign some papers, and then before I knew it, they called me back. They talked to me a little bit about what was happening. They put an IV in my arm, and a bunch of people came in to talk to me that were going to be in the surgery center. So like the anesthesiologist, and then this other guy that was, I don't know, just like doctors, and then the surgeon came in, whatever. Just a bunch of people were coming in, like just talking to me.
Are you ready, honey?
I guess I am ready. I guess I will be ready right now.
I got about 10 minutes.
And then they gave me something like for anxiety through my IV, so kind of at that moment is a little bit of a blur. I remember being rolled into the room and just like a bunch of people in there, and them like being like, hey Ireland, like, how's it going? Like, what are you doing with your life? Like, just trying to make weird conversation, and then next thing I know, like, I'm out. Like, I don't even remember if they told me to count down. I literally don't remember anything. So, my surgery was supposed to be around 4 hours. That's what they estimated. It ended up being 6 hours long. I guess in the middle of it, on this side of my face, part of my jaw just snapped or something, and it took him like 2 more hours to fix that. So that's why this side of my face is a lot bigger, is because it had a lot more trauma done to it. And yeah, so that's kind of scary to hear about yourself, you know. I mean, my mom told me like right when I got out, and I just like felt like this fear, but I was also so out of it.
So it's 7:30 p.m. Ireland went into surgery at noon. She's been out for about an hour. I just was allowed to come in and see her. And she's really thirsty for water. She hasn't had water all day. Her lips are really swollen. They said that's normal.
I remember waking up in this room and looking like this, being like, okay, I don't look too bad yet. I remember having the worst sore throat of my life, literally like such a bad sore throat, and I guess it's because there was a tube down my throat.
3 hours since surgery.
And I remember getting up to pee because like I hadn't peed, and it hurt so bad, and that's because they put a catheter in me in the surgery, so just be aware of that. You can get a UTI from that, but luckily I didn't. Like, I peed a couple times after that, and it just slowly went away. I had like 6 different nurses throughout the night because they keep you overnight. I just remember so many different nurses coming in, wrapping up my head, giving me pain through the syringes, and I had these like things on my legs because you don't want to get blood clots or something, and they like squeeze a leg and then they squeeze the other leg. Super weird, like you'll see in the pictures. And I just remember like having so much phlegm in my throat, coughing. I could breathe through my nose at that time, so I was thankful for that. But then later my nose filled up with blood and I couldn't breathe out of my nose, so yeah. Then I remember just going to bed that night. I could sleep. My mom left because I wanted her to. I didn't want her to stay there. There's no need to. And she came back in the morning. The other thing is I was told that no visitors or whatever could come in, and that like really gave me anxiety because it's scary as fuck and I wanted my mom there. My mom contacted them and like talked basically her way into being there for me. So I would just say like make sure you know their rules or whatever if this is happening during COVID, because if my mom wasn't there I felt I could have done it, but it would have been like a lot more intense, I feel like. So yeah, she was there. She came back in the morning and I just remember like being so weak, being wheelchaired out, and going home. The other thing is I could not talk at all.
So weird to not be able to talk, and I can barely text. I feel like I'm texting as a drunk person.
I remember being in that room trying to find an app that I could like type into and talk, because the nurses just like kept talking to me and I literally like couldn't talk back, and it was so frustrating to not be able to talk. So I got that app. I honestly would have liked pen and paper though, so I don't know, like maybe bring pen and paper or download an app that can let you talk. The app I downloaded is called Text to Speech. Anyways, that second day, just a blur. Like, I just looked really intense. Here's a video.
So this is day 2 in the morning. It's just about 8 a.m. and she's been able to drink water, a little bit of water, but hasn't been able to have any protein shake or anything quite yet. So hopefully this morning she'll be able to do that. She said it's very, very intense the way she's feeling right now, and her throat is just terribly painful. Just got home. Just got her on the couch. She's feeling pretty bad.
Then the day after that, I filmed a video.
Day 2 after surgery. Her ear is in a lot of pain and her lips are really swelled up. It was a rough night.
I am the funnest control I've ever been in my life. It is a nightmare. And that's true. It's really hell. Like, you're really gonna feel. I remember being in my bed that night and my mom coming in and like giving me pain pills and me telling her like this is literally a nightmare and it's only day 1. And I remember my mom just like crying her eyes out because she felt so bad for me. Like, you can see in the pictures I look so like scary and I couldn't breathe through my nose because it was filled with blood, phlegm in my throat, all this shit. I couldn't eat anything. I didn't want to eat anything. It's very intense, so just be like prepared for that. But also looking back at it now, I'm like, it really is a blur. Like, your mind will block it out and you will get through it. I do remember the day after being the longest day of my life. I just remember thinking like, it's only day 1, it's only day 1. And then before you know it, it's 2 weeks post-op. So just know this too shall pass. That phrase was running through my mind. I was just like, you'll get through this, girl. Day 3, my mom was super worried about me because I wasn't eating anything and I was super weak. I think that something you do need to realize is that whoever's going to be taking care of you needs to realize that it's going to be really intense and that they're probably gonna like be really worried about you. and that they need to know that, like, you're gonna be okay, because my mom really believed I needed to be in the surgery center, like, for 3 days just because of how intense it was, but they can only hold you for 1 day, and my surgeon said he agrees with that, but it's kind of like you get through it. You definitely need someone that's gonna be able to wake up in the middle of the night and be there for you. Like, my mom slept in my bed one night. It was like, you definitely need care. And I would say this past week I didn't need my mom as much, but it was nice to have her because I'm weak, and it's just nice to have someone to, like, make your food and stuff. But you, at least for that first week, you need someone to be hand and foot waiting on you. That week after, it is really nice to have someone, but it's not as much of a necessity in my opinion. But my surgeon did tell us we both needed to take 2 weeks off work. In my opinion, I could not go back to work right now. Like, I go for a walk down the block and I'm out of breath. I can not talk that clearly, obviously. If I worked on a computer, I would, but not, like, walking around all day, like, talking to people, whatever.
Okay, so this is day 3 after surgery, which is the peak of swelling. Her left cheek is larger than the right as far as swelling goes, because they had to do more work on that side. We're gonna take her in today for IVs into the surgeon's office. Hopefully that's gonna make her feel a little bit better.
This is what it looks like. Her lips are disgusting.
Ireland hasn't been able to drink enough, so hopefully between this and some steroid, it'll make her feel a little better.
The other thing y'all need to know is you're going to be drooling a shit ton. So what my mom and I did is put a towel around my neck and then just safety pinned it. And then I always, like, had a tissue because just drool is going to come out and you're not going to feel it. Right now, 2 weeks after, I, like, can't feel this. I can't feel my lip or my chin. It's also under my eyes, and here is all numb. I can only really feel my top lip. My nose is numb, but I can feel over here. It's, like, very, like, patchy. But at that point, you really can't feel anything. You're drooling a lot, but I could talk a little bit better that day, but I still was not eating anything. After that, I start filming and showing you guys kind of what's up. I really did sleep, like, all the time is really what I did.